What up, guys? Welcome back. Tonight we got a twisted tale all about infidelity, which transformed into assault and abuse and mental health. How one of the wealthiest women during the Jim Crow era in the South, who was black, ended up with one of America's most sensational trials in history. The Silencing of Ruby McCollum. Let's talk about it. Born Ruby Jackson in Zooburg, Florida, Ruby was the second oldest to 6 siblings. She was born in 1909 to Wilbur and Gretchen Jackson. Early on, her parents noticed that Ruby was very intelligent. However, like I stated, it was the Jim Crow era and schools were still segregated. So they made the cautionary decision to enroll their daughter into private school so she could get the best education. There, Ruby will excel in accounting. Growing up, a lot of men were very interested in Miss Ruby. However, it wasn't just her looks that reeled the guys in. They were infatuated with her sharp wit, her intelligence. However, Ruby wasn't the settling type. It was going to take more than a handsome face to gain her love. She had big dreams, aspirations, and her main focus was her coins. So she needed someone to balance her out, someone who was motivated, as driven as her. Enters Sam McCollum. Now don't get me wrong, Sam was very attractive, very good looking guy. But what captivated Ruby's attention was the fact that Sam was also very driven and determined to live the sweet life. The two would begin to date in 1931. That same year, they would marry and relocate to New York during the Great Migration. During the Great Migration, a lot of people from the South were moving up north because, it was less segregated, so to say. So during that time, the two will move to New York in hopes of, having success in the industry fields, also in hopes of being treated equally. The two will have 3 kids together during this stay, a son by the name of Sam Jr. and 2 daughters, Sonia and Kay. Unfortunately, while in New York, Sam did not find success in the industry field. However, he did make a lot of connections amongst the underworld, the criminal enterprise, mixed and mingled with numbers, so to say. By 1934, he will reconnect with his brother Buck McCollum and propose a plan to get some money. He then moves his family back down south, close to home in a city called Live Oaks, Florida. The two brothers would then start a successful gambling ring. They would sell liquor on the side, and they ran a lot of popular juke joints throughout the city. Now, how was 2 men and a wife able to run a criminal organization during the Jim Crow era? Simple. They paid off dirty cops. But aside from their illegal activities, they also had, successful legal businesses as well. The couple sold burial plots, and they also ran funeral homes, making them the wealthiest Negro family in Live Oaks. They lived a good life for the most part. Sam kept his word in giving Ruby, the good life. She was married to her best friend. She had a successful accounting career as the family bookkeeper. I mean, I can't knock them. I respect the hustle. So pretty much on the outside looking in, you would think Ruby had it going on. But that was far from the truth. See, throughout the course of the relationship, Sam became distant. You know, a woman's loyalty is tested when a man has nothing. A man's loyalty is tested when he has everything. So, I guess you could say the money went to his head. Rumors began to circulate about Sam's affair with some mulatto woman. This alone causes Ruby to spiral out of control. She started to have anxiety. She fell into depression. And enters Dr. Adams. Ruby began to frequent Dr. Adams' office a lot for her depression and nervousness. While there, she would often vent to Dr. Adams about Sam's infidelities. Allegedly, the doctor used to give her an injection, a shot of some unknown substance that would make it all better. Now, I don't know. It's several speculations as to what she was injected with. Some said it was that, white girl. I heard penicillin. Do your own research. But whatever it was, it had her visiting Dr. Adams a lot. Dr. Adams was their family doctor, but he also was one of Sam's prominent customers, clients, business partners, in his criminal enterprise. So his hands weren't clean, allegedly. Eventually, the two would overstep their boundaries and fall into temptation. See, Ruby's initial plan was to, spite Sam, get her lick back, one up this ninja. You better get ready. Get ready, you mother. The big payback. But Dr. Adams just wanted more and more of that brown sugar. Ruby tried to break free from the situation after the first time, but he kept her chained and bound. See, Dr. Adams became possessive, entitled, and didn't care who knew about their little sneakyation, including her husband. He would, in fact, threaten to end her whole family, threaten her husband's corrupt business, allegedly, and also threatened to inject her with something that'll take her up out of here. And Sam, he was so busy doing him that the affair went on for a while without being noticed. But when he found out, allegedly, he put the paws on Miss Ruby. See, this whole situation just made him more detached. His heart got colder. In regards to Dr. Adams, she was still unable to get unstuck from this web of entanglement. See, at this time, he was seeing Ruby as his property, and he would also put the paws on her if she did not comply. By 1951, Ruby finds out that she's pregnant. In her heart, she just knew it wasn't her husband Sam's baby. But she felt somewhat relief because she was thinking that Dr. Adams would be like, absolutely not. I cannot have no little mixed breeds running around here and everybody know what's going on. But she got the total opposite reaction of that. Dr. Adams was in fact like, I wish I would terminate my baby. Not only are you going to have my baby, you're going to raise my baby, love my baby, and treat my baby like the rest of them. So Ruby would carry this child full term and give birth to a beautiful baby girl named Loretta. Now when Sam seen Loretta, Oh, he was over it. Over her, he pretty much washed his hands with the situation.
Whose goddamn white baby is that?
Now, the more Sam allowed, the more Dr. Adams tested his gangster. Rumor has it, he would begin to show up to these people's house. I need to see my baby, and I need to see Ruby upstairs now. Calling shots like he paid bills there. A year would go by, and Ruby still couldn't shake this, 1952. Ruby finds out she's pregnant with baby number 2 and snaps. But see, what happened was her and Sam would get into an altercation when Sam has, a party one night and one of his friends pukes on the floor, and he insists that Ruby cleans it like right now. Just very disrespectful, He has something on his chest, She refused, and they said that he whooped her so bad that she had a miscarriage. Now, no one really knows what led up to what happens next, but August 3rd, 1952, Ruby gets dressed, gets them churn dressed, pack their stuff, put them in the car, and they head on over to Dr. Adams' office. Now, allegedly, when she arrived at the doctor's office, she paced back and forth in front of the office, looking in, checking out the scenery, and people speculated that maybe she was trying to, wait the patients out. They saying that her intentions were cruel. When she gets in the office, says she has a $100 bill in her hand. She was like, I'm here to pay my bill. He, wink, wink, we could talk about this in the back. She was like, no, ain't none of that. I want to pay my bill. It's $100. He said, you owe a lot more than $100. She was like, show me your receipts. He was like, ask your husband owed me. She was like, that's between you and Sam. My bill is, allegedly, this will happen. But he refused to take her pay and insisted that she paid all her dues today. The two got into a dispute, which led to Ruby pulling out her pow-pow and hitting the doctor 4 times in the back when he turned to walk away. She then leaves the doctor's office, goes home, feeds their baby girl Loretta, and wait for the police. When the police arrived, they said that Ruby was out of it. They asked why she did what she did. She's like, I don't know. They take her in. While in custody, a lynch mob was formed. It got so bad outside of the jailhouse that night, they had to relocate Ruby. And it was reported that someone followed them that night, but they missed their mark. Meanwhile, Sam is home panicking. They say he goes home, retrieves all the loose cash, get the kids, get their stuff, drive the kids back to Zubar, Florida, to his mom's house, and then he proceeds to his cousin, brother, somebody's house, and stash the cash, falls asleep, but never wakes up due to a heart attack. Isn't that ironic? Rumor has it, though, what had happened was he ended his own career because he didn't want to pay for his wife's sins, allegedly. Or maybe, we need to look into the cousin or family member he went to go stay with and where's the cash. But that's neither here or there. Moving along. Later that year, her trial will start. And they pretty much tried to paint the narrative that Ruby was, this angry black woman who went too far because of these high doctor bills. While on trial, famed writer Zora Neale Hurst was on an assignment by the Pittsburgh Courier to cover the story. She brought attention to Ruby's case, her unfair treatment, and she would then later go on to write a book about Ruby's life story as well. They didn't give her a chance to pretty much speak, nor her lawyers, in regards to the claims of being abused and assaulted. She was convicted December the 20th, 1952, charged with and sentenced to by the chair. In 1954, Florida Supreme Court will overturn her conviction due to technicalities, and her lawyer would also be able to get her removed from prison and put into a mental institution. In 1956, William Bradford Huey wrote a book called Woman in the Swahili Jail about Ruby's life story. He would then give her a trust fund from the proceedings of his book. To pay for her stay in a mental institution, where she would remain until she was released in 1974. After release, she then resided the rest of her life at a rest home in Silver Spring, Florida. In 1974, Ruby was paid $40,000 for movie rights to her story and was able to reconcile with her kids. Unfortunately, her oldest son, Sam, was arrested for gambling, and her two daughters were called home before her. In 1978, Kay left the earth after a car accident, and in 1979, Sonia was next to go. Not too much is known about her situation. Ruby McCollum herself will pass away May 25th, 1982, after suffering from a stroke. So guys, what are your thoughts on this whole situation? Do you feel justice was served? Do you feel she was mistreated? And although I didn't mention this throughout the story, but allegedly they used to give her severe shock therapy while in the mental institution. By the time of her release, she was so out of it, like she didn't even have a recollection or why she was even there in the first place. So drop your thoughts and opinions below. Let's talk about it. And again, I challenge you to do your own research if you found this story interesting. Till next time. Wow.